Hello, human geographers. This is Geography 106. My name is Thomas Whitehouse. We will go through a quick introduction of myself and then talk about various aspects of this course. This course is rather interesting because we're not so much limited to different regions like regional geography, but we get to talk about different types of sub-disciplines, if you will, in geography. For instance, transportation, languages, political boundaries and so forth, which makes it really interesting. Okay, a little bit about myself. So I've been teaching at Front Range Community College for 3 years. I've taught several classes from World Regional to this class to Physical Geography 111 and 112, and also the Introduction to GIS. And also I've kind of been known to help a little bit on our computer systems and a little bit of tutoring. So I'm kind of known around the school. Really enjoy teaching geography, although I have a pretty technical background. I 8 to 5 job. I'm an enterprise architect, so I work in IT for Xcel Energy, mostly doing power, distribution control. Before that, I worked for the federal government as a contractor doing the same thing. Although I have kind of a computer background and do teach the GIS class here on the Westminster campus, I thoroughly enjoy this class. It's actually my favorite class, which I would not have guessed that before I got into geography. So we'll get into different kinds of things. For instance, communities, urban developments like we see in this photo. We'll get into globalization, transportation of corporations, surviving of cultural regions and places in the future. So we have this concept of globalization, also very large growth in urban areas, which we'll get to on the very last slide here. We'll talk about expansion, globalism, or spreading. Several different technologies this has occurred throughout society. One has been through the television, then further outreach to the internet, and most recently we see social media expanding. Here we see a map of connections to the internet. You can see how much that's expanded. We even have virtual communities nowadays. Expansion into mobility, the whole idea of Internet of Things, where devices can be very far-reaching, even into the most rural, poorest communities in Africa. We have mobility for the digital age. Transportation we'll cover. Interesting facts like China overtaking the United States for the world leader in transportation. We'll talk about what culture is, different commonalities between groups of people, subcultures, groups with similar norms, values, materials. Basis of cultures from material to immaterial. We'll get into population geography, study of spatial and ecological aspects of population. One of the really big studies that tends to be is epidemiological, so basically what type of medical or disease type activities occur around populations and sensitive populations. So we can see population density in the world. Get into languages. The two main languages, Sino-Tibetan and Indo-European. Here we see a language tree, so it's basically classified like it is in biology if you're a science person. Science department is where we have geography here at Front Range Community College. We'll also study ethnicity, political geography, where we have the idea of states, autonomous regions, religion. Get into agriculture. Here's the world's distribution of religion, agriculture, the whole concept of development. So what's emerging and emerged, industrialized, industrializing. And then we're essentially what I alluded to right at the beginning, where we see a really large trend throughout the world of more and more countries living in the city, which we see the example in Australia where we have 89% of the population actually living in cities, mostly to the southeast. But we see the trend worldwide of more and more people living in cities, which is really interesting. Forward to seeing you in class.